For for a lot of people, I think creators, engineers, like producers, you very easily can do a lot of stuff with your day and still end your day feeling like you didn't do anything, because the to-do list is always, it's just always expanding, it's ever growing. And so the work expands to fill the time allotted to it, and we all allot our entire life to it. And so therefore most people end their day feeling like they lost, and they never get this dopamine of feeling like I won, I did good. And so I started to chalk the playing field, so to speak, so that I could look at my day objectively and say, if I did these things, like this is what winning looks like. This is what needs to happen for me to have won the day. And if I do those things, regardless of how much else I get done, I will have won the day. So it doesn't matter if I win the game by 1 point or if I won it by 100 points. Like, I just need to know at minimum, what's it look like to win the day? And so that really gave birth to what I call my 2 to do, my 3 to free, and my 5 to thrive. So the 5 to thrive are the 5 really big projects that I'm working on in, say, a quarter or in a month. So they're big. They're really big things that are going to move me and my company forward, and that are high priority. So as I'm going through and trying to figure out what should I work on each day, it's probably in that morning time, it's probably one of those 5 to thrive pillars. So on each individual day, I have my 3 to free, which in the beginning for me was just a way of saying, if I can do these 3 things today, if I accomplished nothing else but these 3 things, I could look at my day and say it was a win, right? Like, if you look at life through that window, because you can only do so many meaningful activities in a day. And truthfully, there's often just 1, maybe 2 things that if you just did those things and ignored everything else, like, it would still be a massively awesome day. And so I was just trying to get to the root of, like, what are those very few things that really, really matter? And they usually tie to the 5 to thrive, which is like, okay, if I want to write this book and get it published, then what would it look like to make meaningful progress towards that today? That would be, oh, you need to write 3,000 words. Cool. I'll sit down and I'll write those 3,000 words. And regardless then of how many meetings I have at the end of the day, like, if those all get pushed and all I did was write my 3,000 words and take a nap and go for a walk, I can look back and be like, I won the day because I wrote those 3,000 words, and that's moving me towards this goal. But for a lot of people, what I found is there are still these things in life that need to get done that if they don't make time for, it still takes up cognitive bandwidth and kind of eats at them a little bit. So I introduced the 2 to do. The 2 to do are like those 2 to do things on the list that are like not very big and important, but like are pretty key in terms of like clearing mental space and not just creating baggage. So it's like, oh, you got to do the laundry, you got to do the dishes, and like those things in the grand scheme, not super important. But I find just by making a little bit of time for them each day and then saying like, those are the 2 that I'm going to do today, and I'm not, there's always a laundry list of things that could be on that. All I got to do is do these 2. If I do those 2 and these 3 to free, then it's going to be a really good day. And within all of this then is you have to develop the skill of prioritization. You have to be able to look at all the things that are on your schedule. And, you know, for people who are running multiple companies or just have multiple projects, there's a lot of competing priorities. And you can't by definition have competing priorities, because there can only be one priority, one most important thing. The root of that word is like most important, right? So if we can't objectively describe what are the most important tasks, then we're left to just kind of pick things out of the hodgepodge that in the moment we think would be beneficial. So within all of this, there's a framework that I use, or I used to use more frequently. Now I don't use it as much, as you kind of like develop an intuitive sense for how these things will shake out, called the ICE system, which is just you rank order all the tasks in your life based off of importance, confidence, and ease. And this is just a mental model, a really simple one for looking at all the things that you got to get done and saying like, okay, how important is this really in the grand scheme of things? Give it a score between 1 and 20. And then how confident am I in my ability to do this thing? Okay, give that a score of 1 through 10. And then how easy would it be to do this thing? Okay, give that a score 1 through 5. And the grand score then is going to be like, if it was a perfect 35, you'd say that's the most important thing. Do that thing. That's scoring high on importance, high on confidence, and high on ease. Yeah, definitely do that thing, right? And this isn't to like get over ideological about the categories and be like, oh, well, that one's a 27 and this one's a 28. Therefore, I got to do the 28. You still have to express some human judgment in this and just recognize like this is a starting point to help systematize the process of setting priorities, which most people never do. And in the same way that they never sit down and say, what's it look like to win today? And because of that, because you never actually like set the rules of the game, you end the day and you feel like you lost. So that's really what we're trying to avoid at the end of the day, because I want to end my day feeling like it was a productive day, like it was a good day. So if nothing else, I want to set that bar nice and low too, so that I can trip over it, which is why I only have 3 things that I'm like, I got to get those done.